Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader, known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey street fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Here tonight from Bristol Motor Speedway, the second to last race and chase race number 5 of the season. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and you're watching the BTDY Racing Series presented by Martin Sports. The Affinity for Gaming 225 at Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm joined in the booth tonight by Alec Martinez and Luke Buffington, and we're shaping up to have another good night here in Thunder Valley.
Yes, sir, we are. I'm looking forward to it. I know last week was a little bit crazy at National Super Speedway, and Luke, I don't know about you, buddy. I know you were gone, but to fill you in, got a little bit crazy between Ben Baffert and Adam Cabot racing out of pit road. Cabot ended up in the outside wall with Ryan Shelton, and the points have flipped once again. And we're going to take a look at those point standings with Ben Baffert, Jeff Wright, separated by 5 points, and then another 13 points between Yusuf Ghali, who's in third, 14 points to Bailey Turner, and then going to be about 19 points to Adam Cabot in the 17 car tonight. 2 laps of pacing, boys. We got a lot of crazy stuff here at the Last Great Colosseum. Only a half mile, the world's fastest half mile, the Last Great Colosseum, with 30-degree banking turns. Boys, we are in for a show. Luke, as we're pacing, who's your pick here for tonight?
Oh, honestly, there's really no telling. I mean, I'm liking Jeff Wright. You know, I'm kind of a Jeff Wright fan. I've been liking what he's doing, and you know, he's always a safe bet.
I think he is. Bradley, I know we got a lot of guys for bottom of your screen. Starting lineup going by there. Bradley, who do you got winning here before we take this green flag?
Ben Baffert's been really strong here. I would actually kind of side with Luke, but I don't want to double pick because Jeff Wright's so good at Bristol, but I'll go with the 23. If Jeff Wright has a bad night, the 23 is going to be right there to pick it up.
I like Bailey Turner tonight. I think he can get it done in that 24 car, and as the pace Car is going to roll off on the pit lane. 225 laps around the Last Great Colosseum underway for the Bristol Motor Speedway.
There it is, lap one, the 23 of Baffert. He gets the lead, and Jeff Wright right behind him. So, kind of exactly what we were talking about. 23 car might struggle a little bit here in the long run, but I look for him to lead at least 10, 15 laps before Jeff Wright finds a way around him.
Yeah, and again, a lot of laps here. 225 laps, but quick, short laps here. 15-second laps in these Gen 4 race cars. Bailey Turner is in third. Pole sitter Joshua Banks did not get a good start, and he's already back to fifth.
Well, yeah, you know, I don't know if you saw, but it looked like he kind of got a little loose going around turns 1 and 2 there.
Yeah, cold tires might have affected the 35 there, and this time starting to affect the handling. And how about Yusuf Ghali up in sixth? Probably his best qualifying effort we've seen out of him in the last couple of weeks. And
it's about time.
I know, about time he got a good qualifying effort, and now settled in sixth. And everybody on the bottom right now, early in this race, as the track will begin to rubber up and get more and more rubber on the bottom, you'll see guys move up. And there it is for the lead here. Jeff Wright going to go all the way up and try to utilize that outside lane.
He's going to utilize it well. That outside will burn the tires off a little bit faster. It's been known that you use a little bit more fuel on that outside, but Jeff doesn't care. He makes quick work of the 23 car. We're going to change for the lead on lap 6.
Yeah, Wright going to get to the lead and try to close up that championship gap. And remember, 5 points separating these two here, 1 and 2, although it is roles reversed when we get into the championship standings, with Baffert the points that are looking for his first BTDY Racing Championship, and Jeff Wright, the defending champion, looking to go 2 in a row.
So it's been kind of common to see the 24 and the 23 car up towards the front here since the chase began. Bailey actually making up a lot of spots here in these last 5 races. He's put himself up into the top 3, and he's flirting with, well, you know, the top 3 points who have been kind of the same all year. He's now in the mix.
He really has. Yesterday got second in the Monday Night Racing Series Championship. Lost in a photo finish to Ryan Vargas. And it was, as a matter of fact, in these cars at the Chicagoland Speedway. So Bailey has had some experience within the last couple of days of being in these race cars and getting familiar with them here. And I'll tell you what, mid-pack, the guy who we thought would be the championship guy, you notice he's not in a red and black car for like the first time in a hot minute. He's in a all white and blue car. And as
Ben
the sponsor
Baffert
says,
and Beyond.
Ben Baffert and Beyond, not Bed Bath and Beyond, but Ben Baffert and Beyond. And I guess something that he said his father had mentioned to him, and a good little joke and a good little scheme to throw in there in the last few days. So to see, it's interesting to see Adam in a different car, but I love it. The jokes these guys play on each other.
It's not the first time we've seen someone's name or face on a car here in VSPEED. So.
Oh yeah.
But they're always creative. I always like what they come up with. We saw the 35 of Joshua Banks have Bailey Turner on his car, I believe. And I think that was an SNR thing. It might have carried over to BTDY a little bit, but, you know, those guys always went at it. So I'm going to guess that the 17 is probably, you know, they put it behind them already, but he said, I'm going to put your name on my car.
He did say that. And he did that, and now Yusuf Ghali and Dennis Fairclough losing 2 spots, 1 to Mikulski, and now going to lose another one to Cabot here. These guys on the bottom, super saving. These guys on the outside trying to go a little bit harder and get that track position, and now Fairclough going to use the outside lane around the 54 of Ghali.
So a few guys that we probably should mention have kind of taken an early exit here to the season. The winner at Watkins Glen, 99 of Shelton.
There's Baffert
side by side for the lead. So they're going back at it.
Baffert's going to utilize that outside lane. He's going to get a nice run out the corner. He's going to get the spot and retake the lead. Now Wright going to shift back around to the outside. Love seeing different lines getting used here at Bristol. No! Baffert shuts the door.
Jeff cut him a break. He had the run.
And Luke, I got to ask you, the race is so aggressive. They're both racing for a championship here. Do you think big picture here if you're racing so early?
I mean, I don't know, it seems a little short-sighted to get that aggressive this early in the race. I mean, there's still 200 laps to go, plenty of chances for the guy in front of you to make a mistake.
Well, they're allowing the 24, Bailey Turner and Ray Massey in the 32 to catch back up to them. They had actually had over a second lead before they got side by side again.
Yeah, they were. And you were saying Ryan Shelton, obviously, of guys taking an early exit, unfortunately, Ryan Shelton, how would we put this, I guess, was indefinitely suspended from the BTDY Racing Series after last week. And so, unfortunately, he won't be partaking in the rest of this season. So, and a couple other guys have taken early exits, I guess. You could say Seth Hackett, the Dover winner, hasn't been here for a couple of weeks. And again, guys getting reset. I know a name we haven't heard of and seen in a while was Keith Mayato. He'll hopefully be back in terms for the next season here in a couple months. So, and remember, only 2 more races to go in this season of BTDY, which has been a phenomenal season, to say the least.
Yeah, I guess that was trying to portray it in a polite way of what was happening. It was just news that I guess I could put out there, but I didn't know how to say it. So thank you, Alec.
No problem. And I think that's, putting it as we can, professionally putting it as we can. So, although Ryan, a very fierce competitor, Juan Watkins, Glenn did a heck of a job, but unfortunately, he'll be partaking in the rest of the season. Yusuf Ghali, Adam Cabot still going at it here. Cabot barely going to be able to clear Ghali into the turn number 1. And Ghali has fallen back to 8th, and Klopp back to 9th. Angelo Ronas quietly working his way up inside the top 10. How about Mr. David Shieldhouse? Started all the way at the back. Dead loud. Started 17th. He's worked his way up into 11th already here, slowly but surely making his way up to the field. Utilizing that outside lane as well.
And DeWalt, number 20 machine.
Well, he's a big Matt Kenseth fan. Big Matt Kenseth fan, so.
Got a few different paint schemes out here tonight. It's been hard to find drivers. I've gotten so used to their paint schemes. Back at it again for the lead for a moment there. Ben Baffert dives to the inside of the 48 car, and this has completely allowed Bailey Turner to catch up.
It has, and like I said, love seeing the dynamic track really start working here. You got guys on the inside, guys on the outside. Nobody really running the middle yet, but I think those are the average Bristol lines, and I know, Luke, you're more familiar. Old Bristol, everybody on the bottom, got to move somebody out of the way if you want to get by. This newer version of Bristol kind of allows you to run really anywhere on the racetrack that you so please.
Yeah, it's really nice to see a lot. It's nice seeing the movement among the drivers. Nobody likes it when they're just sitting in a line and nobody can make a move. But with this, I mean, you're getting side draft, you got all types of maneuvers going on.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting to see here. So here comes Bailey Turner now up to the outside. Trying to get some cleaner to the nose, get to the middle here, get to the outside of the 23 of Baffert. He will, barely going to clear Baffert, but now Bailey Turner maybe saving all those tires while these two were battling and racing each other, gets second away from the 23. Now going to set his eyes on the 48.
He's got the tires to do it. You can see the closing on the entrance of these corners. But Jeff going to masterfully give him some dirty air. Seems like the 24 a little more comfortable on the bottom. He's going to move it up top, get the air on the nose.
Well, he's got pressure from the 23. He's trying to get back around him here. And I'm not going to lie, gentlemen. I'm not feeling too bad about my pick, Bailey Turner, who's got some really good speed. He's been in contention the last 2 years of winning this race, whether it was in the Xfinity car or in the next gen a couple years ago. Had a great finish with him and Adam Cabot. So Bailey really having some good runs here. He's going to need a little bit for maybe Wright and Baffert to have some pretty bad days to make this a really interesting fight if he can win this race. Although he's third in points, he's sitting quietly behind. He's well within the picture of winning the championship, especially if we're talking about using multiple lanes next week at Auto Club Speedway for the championship finale in California. That is going to be a heck of a race. We know what Auto Club is capable of producing when it comes to the racing quality.
We know what the track's capable of, but then we go into the next gen.
Trouble. Down the front stretch, I believe Cody Atkins was around in the Taco Bell car. Oh, yes. Yep.
A metallic purple 81 car. Doesn't look like he got any damage.
No, not too much. Probably had to see what happened to him. It looked like an interesting Bristol racing incident in the Gen 4. Got a little help from the 80.
Good job keeping off the wall there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looked like, I don't know if we want to get on board with the 80, but he was kind of utilizing that outside lane here, and he gets such a big run off. I think Cody thought he was clear. And he came up, but man, Dennis it was kind of a late decision a little bit, but man, so much of a run coming off the corner, and unfortunately Cody really nowhere to go. So first caution of the evening on it, man, it shows you how quick laps click off here. 37 laps into this race already.
I've been there.
Yeah, that's one of them racing deals, as the kids say. And unfortunately, first caution of the night, and now everybody gonna come down pit road. And here's the unique thing about Bristol Motor Speedway's pit. Look at all the way around the racetrack at 35 miles an hour, grueling 35 miles an hour. Especially if we get green flag pit stops and a caution comes out, you're gonna find yourself 2, 3, even 4 laps down at some points.
You have to maintain pit speed while you're down on the apron as well. Makes it very difficult. And I don't know about you, Alec, but I've been guilty of getting hypnotized, not knowing the front and back stretch, because you get you get just so used to this track's so symmetrical, it's hard to tell.
It is, and I think if I recall correctly, the first 22 cars, I believe, are on the front stretch, and the last 20, if we had a 40-car field, if we had 40, it'd be the first 22 and the other 18 on the backstretch. So usually, if you're the first 22 cars that start the race, especially if in real life series, it's first 22 front stretch, and the last, I guess, 20 or 18, are on the backstretch.
This cycles through. Jeff Wright will resume the lead. Bailey Turner up to second. Lights
quick
out on the pace truck. Ready to go. There's the 35 car.
Yeah.
Joshua Banks, a short track expert.
Mikulski in 6th.
Yeah.
Quiet night for him. Cabot didn't have a great stop, unfortunately for him. Lost a little bit there. Outside the top 10 and 11th. Not the night he's been needing to have to get his championship hopes back.
Into the restart zone, and we'll go back live and racing at Bristol for the second time today. Jeff gets a decent start there and pulls out about half a second over Joshua Banks, but Baffert under fire from the outside line. How about this? Noah Mikulski trying to pass for the top 5.
Baffert, a big moment down the inside. Mikulski up to 4th. That outside lane seeming like you want to be restarting up there if you want to make some moves. Baffert losing a couple spots here. Gawley gets up to 5th. Baffert back down to 6th. Now charges to the inside of Mikulski. And trouble down the backstretch. It's Cody Atkins again.
We're going to stay green for this one.
Yeah, I think there was contact with Caleb Weekly, and he went around. No caution, like you said, so everybody keeps it clean and green. Gawley back down to the inside lane, and Mikulski really showing some speed in that 03. Now back down to the inside of Banks.
It's almost too bad about the shuffling up here. I was about to say that our picks had been staying top 3 this entire race, and then Baffert just had to fall back a couple spots there.
Yeah, he's worked his way up to 4th now.
Yeah, he's bringing it back.
That outside line's so hot there on the brand new tires that it's hard to maintain on the bottom. He'll be back.
Yeah, and I think, we're looking at this, and I think if you want to be on the tack, you go to the outside, but if you want to kind of chill out and kind of keep tires under you, I think you go to the inside like everybody's been doing. Although here comes Bailey Turner on the inside of Jeff Wright here. But man, outside carries so much momentum. Now, I got to ask you, this is a big ask here, and I don't want to jinx it, but boys, do you think there's a possibility with so little cars in the field that we could get green flag pit stops here?
Ooh. I mean...
Yeah, that's always possible here.
And from what I've been hearing and reading throughout the different chats here, a lot of the drivers are kind of just taking it easy and letting the championship guys go to town. The guys in the chase are really able to chase tonight.
Yeah, I think that's good. I like the courtesy that everybody's been giving everybody. So always helps, but you never know. Once we get to we talk about a race win on the line, I think obviously we'll see things later in the race, especially here at Bristol where we know a lot of things can happen really quick and really fast. And big wrecks have always been a part of the Bristol Motor Speedway, how would you say, legacy. But love Bristol, such a great racetrack. And oh man, Noah Mikulski almost got into the back end there of Ben Baffert.
And that outside, Baffert's going to get clear of him here in the entrance to 3 and 4. No, they're going to be side by side again, coming out of the exit.
Yeah, and that's down the back stretch here. Mikulski into 3. You got to try to get around using that outside lane, or middle lane, I should say. And he will get by Baffert. How about Chris Samard as well? That 77 working his way up inside the top 10. And we saw a lot of comers and goers, it seems, in this race so far.
I think some of these drivers may be being a little conservative on the start, kind of feel out how the race was going to go. They saw what the top 5 did and thought, well, we can push it a little bit harder because those guys kind of walked away from us. If we're going to have a lot of cautions, we got to stay with them. So when we hit pit road, I mean, we got to be up here in position. Striking distance is key here at Bristol. If you fall out of the top 10, it's going to be tough to win this race.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. I think you just got to, bide your time, be easy with it. But yes, if you're not, I think if you're in the top 10 within the last half of this race, yes, you got a chance. But outside of it, yes, I don't know if you would be able to see anybody really make a move. Battling up here inside the top 10 is really good. You got Nick Starling, who's worked his way up inside the top 10. Samard trying to get around Baffert, the championship leader. No, almost a little contact down the front stretch. But Samard really utilizing that outside lane pretty well. How about the 94, Nick Starling, getting his way up to the field?
That outside line, he's following Chris Samard here. This is 7th and 5th position on the outside. Angelo Corona's pinned down there on the bottom. Yusuf Ghali trying to work his way back up here into the top 5. He started back in 8th. He's now trying to go in the approach here for the 29 car, giving a little pinch. They're really tight here from 7th back to 10th.
Yeah, Shieldhouse now going to be in this fight. Corona's up to the outside. Going to get to the outside of his teammate Ben Baffert. And Baffert dropping down the running order here. And if there's anything that Jeff Wright loves to see, it's definitely this. Caution comes out. Baffert's going to be trapped barely inside the top 10, maybe outside the top 10 by the end of this run here. So, doesn't want a caution to come out. He wants this race to go long, probably by the strategy that he's doing from what I can see is the super save.
We'll show you what 30 degrees of banking looks like as we ride on board with David Shieldhouse. This track is the steepest at the top groove, and the gyro camera working overtime inside the gymnasium of cars.
Yeah, nothing like a little, 30 degrees of banking, a little progressive banking from the bottom to the top, and man, that top really shows you the banking of how much the banking is here at Bristol, especially for such a little half-mile track, man. This track is truly one of a kind.
One of the few tracks I've been to. I mean, you can see everything here. We go up here in the box camera. This is essentially what it looks like when you're sitting in the stands. You can see all the way around this place.
Well, I got to ask you, what year did you go to Bristol?
2000.
2000. Did you go to the spring race or the fall race?
Spring race. Steve Park.
Steve Park.
Steve Park was actually on the pole. I think.
Yes, sir.
I think they ended up third. I think it was Rusty Wallace that ended up winning that race.
I want to say you're right. I think it was Rusty Wallace, Jeff Gordon, and Steve Park were the top 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Gordon had a good shot to win it, but Steve Park's pit crew, I think I've talked about this.
Yeah, yes, you have. Steve Park's
not a happy fan that day.
You're a big Steve Park guy, right? Back in the day?
No, back in the day I was Gordon. I was 100%
Gordon.
a Jeff Gordon,
Okay.
Hendrick Motorsports. Then that turned into Terry Labonte, then Casey Kane.
Texas Terry. Casey Kane. Oh my gosh. Hendrick Casey Kaner. We're talking Richard Petty Motorsports.
I think we were when it was Everham. I liked
Everham. Oh, of course. Yeah. Okay.
And then when he drove for Red Bull was when I really started to appreciate the fact that he could win in those cars.
Oh yeah.
Him and Brian Vickers are like kind of left for dead.
Yeah. I miss Casey Kane. Casey Kane was a heck of a race car driver, especially in the early 2000s. Man, that guy. Whew.
Oh, yeah.
2006 or was it 05 or 06? He had that monster year.
Oh yeah, breakout year. I think that's where he started getting attention from Hendrick and those guys. But seeing here with 94 in 6th position, David Shieldhouse trying to get by him, can't clear him. He's tried several times. Now going to go up to the outside, and Yusuf Ghali has the door open up. Top 3, they've kind of went stagnant. They haven't really tried any moves, but they've pulled away from Nowakowski.
And how about Chris Samard up to the top 5? You got Starling up to 6th, Shieldhouse up to 7th. And just to let you know, Steve Park did start first. He just finished 7th in the 2000 race. Ward Burton, Johnny Benson in the top 2. or top 3. Rusty Wallace did win that race, but yeah, top 3 have kind of scooted away a little bit. Mikulski about a second back, then Samard's right on his bumper. Then this gaggle of cars from Starling on back. These guys are really going at it, sliding around, and Shieldhouse almost got into the back end of Starling.
There's Cabot, almost 3 wide there with Rhoda peeking to the inside as it came out of turn 2.
You look, Ben Bradford back there in 11th. Oh, man. Oh, my God.
They saved it, but Starling, heavy damage to the outside wall. And I think Chris Samard got it stuck in the wall, and that's what kind of caused the chain reaction. And I'm not sure how bad Starling's damage is, but I think Chris Samard has heavier damage, although hard hits all the way around there.
Yeah, the 03 of Mikulski got loose in front of the 77, so let's go back here and look at this again. Right here. Out of the exit.
I think it was into turn 3, and again, they're battling there with Noah Mikulski in the 03. That's what happened. They get into each other. What a save from Mikulski, and then really everybody just ping-ponging off each other, and I think Cabot got pretty heavy damage to that 17 car.
Left front damage on it, but it's not slowing him down. Bristol, kind of one of those tracks similar to Martinsville where a little damage not going to affect you too bad.
Yeah, exactly. It should. Yeah, and I remember 2018 Kurt Busch won that race here. That car was all beat down. I remember tape on the hood, tape on the bumper, tire marks on every side of the corner. That was remember, like you said, it doesn't. You can get damage here, but man, these cars are tough, and really, even though the track's kind of fast, it doesn't really affect the aerodynamics too much.
You know, I think we have a green flag pit from Chris Samard.
Yeah, I think it's the heavy damage that he got. We got 40 laps about to be on these tires, so pretty good. And Jeff Wright has really opened up that lead.
Well, Alec, about how long do you figure they're going to be able to go? Assuming it stays green,
Oh.
about how long do you think they're going to be able to go on these tires?
Probably 100, 120, 130 laps. Really get a good usage out of them, and not make too much trouble here. Man, I'll tell you, make a lot of trouble, man. These guys here battling for 5th on the racetrack. 3 wide. Cabot shoots the gap to the middle, gets 1, and he'll try to get the 2-for-1 special in 1 lap on Noah Mikulski. Baffert now going to try to insert his in there. Barely going to get by.
Oof.
And he's going to clear Mikulski, and he can't clear Cabot. Oh, will he? He barely going to shut the door. Noah Mikulski gets by, and how about Joshua Banks gets by Bailey Turner for 2nd, and Mikulski starting to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, and I think his rear tires got used up there with Samard running into the back of him, unfortunately.
I think all the tires got used up there because he locked it down as well. He's got a little bit of right rear damage, but nothing too bad here. Cabot up to 5th, Baffert to 6th, and Massey trying to get up to 7th here.
So good Baffert to be on in front of the 23 car.
What a sponsor! What a race car! And right now, how about David Shieldhouse, man? That 20 car is coming alive late in this run here. 45 laps on the tires. That 20 car, he's got some speed.
He's worked his way up to 4th. He's now challenging the 24 Bailey Turner for 3rd. He's going to get by. Next victim in front, the 35 of Banks. He's got a long way to go to Jeff Wright, but he's got the tires to do it based off that speed.
He's got the pace. He's been starting to use up his tires a little bit more. Curious to see how much longer you're going to be willing to go on those tires. Do you want to go? I would expect most guys are going to probably go to about lap 150 and probably bring it back in. We'll see, though. Who knows how these guys are going to separate here. Obviously, with the long run glooming or kind of hanging over the field here, I would think you got to save some tires, save some, and split this race into a logical, probably in half in that last run. So I wouldn't be surprised to see guys try to stretch to lap 150. So still another 60, 70 laps to go on these tires.
A really deep approach into these corners for the 20 of Shieldhouse. He's driving deep into this turn.
Banks has moved up.
There's the wall.
Oh, he's in the wall. He got the wall there, and I'll tell you what, Noah Mikulski and Yusuf Ghali have been going at it. Yusuf has not found a way around him, and started door banging a little bit behind him. And how about Alan Dice in the top 10 as well?
Working up slowly. Quiet night here for Dice, but we had that shuffle. Remember, Mikulski and Samard that caused all that shuffle around in positions. And some of these guys that got involved with it haven't recovered the time. We're talking about 2-second gap between 7th and 8th position.
Yeah.
Ray Massey kind of all by himself on an island here.
Yeah, he's kind of pulled away. He's lost a little bit to Baffert, and he's kind of pulled away from Mikulski and all them. So
I've lost your audio there.
Yeah, he's all by himself at 7th.
There we go.
Nice.
There it is.
There he is.
You're
Yeah,
far
you know,
away.
you kind of got to think if just kind of running on your own might be the a little bit of wall contact there. So you kind of have to wonder if just running by yourself, staying out of, just avoiding people might be kind of a way to go here,
Good luck.
Could be. Oh, Cabot gonna get by Turner.
As best you can, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
Turner
you'll
gets
avoid them
falling
for a
off.
few laps, but if you fall back, you're going to be... Now you got the leader and you're inside trying to go a lap down. It's hard to avoid guys here.
Yeah, it's hard.
Well,
and
I don't mean
especially-
avoid them that well.
And if you're Jeff Wright, I mean, you're going to already be running up in the back half of the field here, especially if they're battling here. I mean, he's going to run up on Starling a little bit, but, I mean, Jeff's turning a really good pace right now, 2.5 seconds ahead. And, Bailey Turner and Ben Baffert going at it down the front stretch. Baffert going to send it into the corner, going to slide job to 24th, and he's got it for 5th. Cabot has worked his way up to 4th, but this is all happening 3-4 seconds behind Jeff Wright.
That is a group that has some history from the past few races here.
It really has, and tell you what, Cabot, he's got a lot of damage, especially on the left front. I don't know if we can get a wider shot, but Cabot's left front quarter panel is pushed in behind or not behind, but it's hard. You can see the tire more than you can the fender.
Looking like
And golly, losing
open
a lot.
wheel,
Of
wheel
yeah, modified, yeah.
It's sticking out there quite a lot, and in real life that could cause a problem where a guy could easily cut that tire down.
Get a
This
tire
fender's
rub, yeah.
designed, to protect that tire, and you could easily cut a tire just getting in contact with somebody.
Yeah, you definitely could. And right now, if you're Ben Baffert, he's been saving most of this last run. So now is the time to start pushing those tires that you saved. Start trying to see if you can reel in that gap to Jeff Wright.
Now Banks is falling back 2.5 seconds. Jeff is pretty much in another area code as he puts the 94 Nick Starling a lap down, Dennis Faircloth, and then Cody Atkins, the next car, on track in front of Jeff Wright. It's been kind of what we expected. The 48 car, Luke, a very informed pick. This 48 team has been dominant at Bristol, especially in this car combo.
Oh, yeah. Tell you what, I mean... Oh, go ahead.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
I had to cut you. No, please, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you almost have to wonder if he might just start taking a little easier, being he has that 3-second gap, just get into more of a saving line to really make the most of what he's got and try his best to avoid a green flag pit stop.
He's on the bottom, and that's part of his strategy, is to drive it hard for the first 10-15 laps in the hopes that nobody contests him. A little loose there for the 81 car, but he's in the hopes that nobody will contest what he's got going. He can get in that clean air, and now he's driving the bottom of the racetrack, and obviously it's working. It looks like he's pushing it because that gap to the second place grows every lap. But really, this is Jeff Wright in conservation mode.
Well, and thinking about it more, I suppose that gap could very well be growing just because of all the kind of infighting with the drivers behind him. I mean, it's tough to get ahead when you're trying to race the guy next to you,
Oh, 80 of Faircloth hits the wall right in front of second place.
He's riding it just about.
There's Shieldhouse coming by on the inside as well. He's caught up to the 35 car.
Oh, there was trouble about 2 laps ago. Alan Dice and Noah Mikulski ended up getting into each other. I don't know how that was a caution, but they both ended up in the wall pretty hard.
See if we can go back and catch that on the replay.
Dice was, I listened to the radio, Dice was not happy. You don't normally hear Alan Dice get too upset at somebody, and unfortunately got some contact there with, that was a pretty decent hit.
That's really too bad to see. I mean, Dice was up in the top 10 for a little while there.
He was, and I mean, racing deal, he did kind of slide up a little bit, but Mikulski had been holding up these guys for a while. I think Dice is just trying to find a way around him here, and I'll tell you what, Ben Baffert has been trying to complete this pass on Adam Cabot for the last 10 laps, and he has been side by side with him for the last 10 laps and has yet to get by him. Cabot's doing a heck of a job holding off the 23, and right now, Jeff Wright is a big Adam Cabot fan.
No doubt about it.
I think Cabot's a big Baffert fan.
You almost wonder if it isn't the opposite.
I mean, exiting on pit road, it made for a good show. I enjoyed it, and Luke, you missed one heck of a pit battle. I don't think I've ever seen that at BTDY, really in general on VSPEED, where drivers go at it that hard. You know, it was one of those live to fight another day moments where Ben got tunnel vision, car in the wall. That was a 17. But I think it was like one of those moments where Ben just got ahead of himself. And ultimately, though, Ben ends up recovering and Cabot gets damage. So, you know, it put the 17 car in a situation that he never could recover from.
Yeah, and honestly, that caution that happened at Nashville gave Jeff Wright really the opportunity to go out there and win his first ever race in the next gen, which kind of gave him so much momentum going into this race. And now you get him in a car he's comfortable in at a track he's good at. I mean, it's probably the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, you just
walking away with
momentum.
I mean, we're seeing him get up to 3.5 seconds ahead of Banks here.
I mean, yeah,
and he's saving too. I mean, that's incredible.
Baffert's got a good enough car. It's just Cabot's been doing a heck of a job holding off the 23. I mean, Baffert has yet to find a way around. In Cabot's car, he is struggling with handling right now.
Do you think it would benefit both of them if they were to kind of fall in line and work together to close that gap?
Yeah, right now I don't think it's about that. I think we're going back a week.
Yeah, I think Cabot, I understand why, but man, they're using each other up here. And see Baffert's trying to intimidate Cabot, and he does. Cabot slides up the track, but I don't think Baffert's going to clear him here.
Nope.
Oh my
not
goodness.
Quite.
I think finally Baffert, after about 15 laps of trying to fight the 17 off, he finally gets by him, but Cabot, you know, he held him off for as much as he could.
And you know, in that process, now they are about 3 seconds behind Schildhaus.
Yeah, and they're 6 seconds behind Jeff Wright.
Yeah, almost 7 now. So now they've got to try and figure out a way to work that back a little bit.
And the question is, how much longer are you going to want to go on tires? And fuel, obviously, I don't think you can go 180 laps on fuel. I think that's just too much, but you can probably go 100.
Fourth place on back right now. They should probably short pit a little bit because they're losing so much time to Jeff Wright right now. They need something. They need to do something different.
And my thing is, if you're Ben Baffert, right, you don't want to lose too many points to Jeff Wright. We know Jeff's good here. We know he's good in this race car. Now next week we go for the championship. It's in the next-gen car. Baffert has had the upper hand in the next-gen car compared to Jeff Wright. And now next week, do you give maybe Baffert the upper hand, you know, going into Auto Club, or Jeff Wright riding? If he can win this race 2 wins in a row, it's a lot of momentum swinging in his favor. But you're going to go to a track that he, you know, has said he's not great at, and in a car he hasn't won at.
Did something happen with Yusuf Ghali? Just seeing him.
He's brought it down to pit lane. Yes, he has.
Yes, I see that now.
He got lapped by Jeff Wright there just a moment ago, so.
I suppose a bit of a hit to the confidence in finishing well this race.
Yeah, it's probably going to be, but you know, you got to give Yusuf some credit here. He's been really, really good so far these last few weeks. Unfortunately, I know last week had a good finish at Rockingham, but I think, you know, had 2 bad finishes that didn't really help him. And honestly, you know, the first 2 weeks he looked like he was going to be the guy to go through to win the championship. Got up Watkins Glen, didn't have a great race, and you know, you need to have such a perfect chase to really get yourself a chance at the championship.
Well, and you know, you could even consider this to be just a strategy move, like you were saying. Just about anybody after 4th could be pitting to just try and get something back out of these cars.
Yeah, and look at this, Jeff Wright, only 7 cars on the lead lap. I mean, my lord.
Somebody told him there was a championship on the line.
Tell you what, man. absolutely dominating here. And Ben Baffert, I believe, is bringing it in pit road here because Ronas brought it in. Golly brought it in. Golly turned about a second and a half faster, and Ben Baffert getting it close there. And the question is, Jeff Wright, he's got such a comfortable lead. When do you want to pit if you're Jeff Wright?
I mean, 4.5 seconds, you can pretty much pit whenever you want, I think, at this point. That's quite the gap at Bristol. These guys come down pit road. It's so tough to make up time because it's such a long pit road. And I'm actually surprised a lot of guys will actually hug that wall to take a shorter line around.
It's going to be interesting to see, yeah.
Wright could almost just keep going until he's got a full lap over everybody and then take it in. I mean, he's just running away with it right now.
He's on track to do it. Yeah, he's on track to do that right now. Bailey Turner will be the next car. He's about 10 seconds back, so Jeff's still got about 5-6 seconds to catch up to him. But
yep, Baffert's in. And remember now, we only got 100 laps to go here, and they're going about 89, 90 laps on tires here this last run, so we should see. No, if you're Ben Baffert and a caution comes out, your race is practically over. You're 3 laps down, and David Schildhouse.
Speaking of that was Schildhouse. Speaking of caution almost happening.
Heck of a save. He threw it in. Oh, he missed pit road.
Yeah, he did.
I'm surprised that was a caution, but man, that's going to cost him a whole lot of time.
He's lucky that nobody else was coming to pit road. I mean, Caleb came in a little bit later, but had someone been right behind him into pit road?
Oh, yeah, that would have been catastrophic. Or coming out of pit road would have been catastrophic.
Yeah, these guys back from fourth on back, they need a caution now.
And here comes Cabot, I believe, bringing it down pit road. And I would say Jeff Wright's going to probably bring it in here pretty soon. Although he's got some great pace, so I mean.
Well, you'd hope. I mean,
I think he stay out maybe another 5 laps at most, then bring it in.
I mean, the longer he goes on these tires, the more of an advantage he's going to have on the next set.
We have about a second and a half fall off.
Oh, there he comes. He's coming in now.
2 full seconds from Jeff's very best lap time at 15 flat to 17.1 is his last time by.
Yeah.
So.
And he's in pit road now, and a lot of the cars are pitting, so there's only like 5, 6, 7 cars on the racetrack.
Joshua Banks gonna follow suit, I believe.
Would have to think so. Yeah, he is.
Seeing Ben Baffert and Yusuf Ghali setting 15.5, 15.6
barely gonna get it into his box, so I think Baffert, is he a lap down still, or? Yeah, he is. So now he's back on the lead lap, and Jeff's gonna get service to his car. I think he's still gonna come out the leader. And if you're Baffert, it's about losing the least amount of time, although Jack's going to drop and he's going to go on and away. Baffert's going to get by, but he's not going to be too far ahead for Jeff, especially with 10 lap older tires.
About 2.5, almost 3 seconds here over Yusuf Ghali, and 3 seconds Jeff Wright. But Jeff, yeah, like I said, those fresh tires, he's already putting them to work right here.
Oh man, him and Yusuf racing each other, and Jeff and Yusuf have had a couple run-ins this season. I guess Chicagoland was one of those places where they almost had a run-in, and Jeff's going to blow right on by with the fresh tires. But yeah, so now 2-3 seconds separating him and Ben Baffert. So interesting to see, although, like again, 10 lap difference on tires. I think Jeff will probably catch him very close, or very quickly. The question is, if you're Ben Baffert, you know, can you fit, if you get second to Jeff, I think it's all worth it here.
You know, just looking at the timings here, that last lap, Jeff was 0.3 faster than Ben.
Yeah,
I mean, we're already seeing him just shave it away.
Yeah, he's going to get there in no time, I would say. And Jeff's been the best car here all night, so I would think that it's possible, as we are more than halfway, as the green flag pit cycle has just about ended here, and a couple guys getting their service to their race cars. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here, and we'll go VSPEED side by side here from the Bristol Motor Speedway.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the nurturing reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Back here live at Bristol Motor Speedway, our second caution of the night has fallen, and it is one of the top 5 contenders in the chase. Yusuf Ghali bringing out the second yellow. And we'll go back on the insert replay live on VSPEED to find out exactly what happened to the 54 car. Looks like you got a little help from Shieldhouse, huh?
Yeah, it looked like it, and that really going to save Ben Bafford, who got the lead on Jeff Wright there before Jeff Wright ran up onto him. But go here, the replay here. David on way fresher tires.
Oh, what a run.
Yeah, Yusuf, yeah, kind of came up. Shieldhouse had big run, and yeah, and trying to get up to that 30 degrees of banking really can't, and that unfortunately triggers the caution. And our second one of the night, 150 laps, or 146 laps into the race, 150 laps into this here fine racing event here, the Affinity for Gaming 225. And the field down pit road, Ben Bafford, your leader, Jeff Wright right behind him, and it's all up to the pit crews here. And Bafford gonna win the race off the pit road.
This kind of levels the playing field for what we saw at the beginning of this race, where Jeff and Ben were going back and forth. So Jeff with that massive lead, all kind of null and void. Now he's going to have to find a way around the 23 car. And now we have all these drivers that were up there in the top 5 earlier in this race getting their laps back. So it kind of resets the field. We got a new race here.
Yes, we do.
While we have a moment, I think we have some time.
Yeah,
why
who's playing?
Why don't we pull up Jeff Wright for a moment here and get his opinion on the caution and what the strategy is from here on out.
Let's see. Let me dial him up here. Jeff Wright, Alec Martinez, Luke Buffington, Bradley Cooper in the VC booth. Got a copy?
I got you, Alec.
Well, driver, you look really fast tonight. Look like you had the best car. What are you going to need to the end of this race, the last 125, to bring home the W?
Yeah, I think we're going to need this thing to go green. Felt really good there on the long run, and yeah, I really didn't want to see that caution. And of course, right as I get underneath Ben there, it comes out. So yeah, just going to need to go back to work here, see if we can get another pass on Ben, and hopefully bring this one home.
All right, well, we appreciate your time there, Jeff. Good luck. Go get him, and I know you'll be restarting here pretty quick.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, so you're talking about getting Jeff back to Jeff just getting around Ben, but you know, in the very beginning, I mean, Jeff was able to pull a solid 3 seconds on the entire field.
Yeah.
When he was having trouble pulling back up on Ben, it was, you know, green flag pit conditions, but they're side by side to start with.
And speaking of green flag, we're back under the green flag conditions here, and Baffert gets away. Wright going to use that outside lane. Shieldhouse and Banks going to battle for third, but Wright going to look for the lead here all around the outside of 23. Will Baffert close the door? Yes, he will. He'll keep the lead here, but Wright not going away.
He's going to utilize that outside line, and that's what you kind of said, the outside, kind of the attack lane. Now dives it to the inside with such momentum.
Oh. Baffert holds on. Oh, Wright really looks on the bottom.
Loose.
And again, these are the top two in the championship fight. Baffert, the leader, is first in the points, and Jeff Wright, the dominant car of the day so far, who's in second in points. And might I throw another wrench into these plans here? The top 6 are on fresh tires, but the rest of the field's on 20 or more lap worse tires. We might get lap traffic very early in this run.
Yeah, first of those cars, Bailey Turner.
And half of these guys took the wave.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Yusuf, being the first to pit, stayed out last time around. He is on 38 lap old tires right now.
And spun tires to add to that as well, because he was in that last caution.
That's going to be a rough one to keep up with the rest of the pack with.
And that's going to, if he can't get a good finish here tonight, it'll pretty much mathematically eliminate him, especially with the top 2 in points running 1-2. And these guys still battling Baffert, Wright, all over the racetrack here, utilizing the inside, the outside, the middle, and Baffert still trying to hold on and hold off the fastest car of the night. Oh, man. Good run from Wright. Here he comes to the inside. Baffert on the outside. He'll utilize that outside lane, and look at the momentum he carries by the 48. He'll use it once more in 1 and 2, and Wright just working this 23 over if he can, but Baffert hasn't made any mistakes yet.
It's been tight there off the exit of the corners, with the 23 using the outside, letting Jeff take that bottom line. We know the 48 car in the long run is faster than the 23, but if he can't get by him, it won't much matter.
And I don't know if you remember what Cabot and Baffert were doing for about 20, 25 laps, where Cabot just kind of hung on the outside of Baffert and let him, and Baffert couldn't find a way to get around Cabot. And this time, Baffert could be in that Cabot situation where he just stays on Jeff's door and just doesn't let him by. Ray Massey looks like he caught the wall.
Yeah, he did. He was trying to pass the 17 of Cabot, had a good run there on the exit, but he caught that outside wall down the straightaway and lost all that momentum. So 17 car going to hold on for a little bit longer.
Oh, Ben! Way up the track and almost into Wright on the outside wall. Put Wright up in the wall, but Wright gets to the right rear quarter panel of the 23, and this should allow Jeff Wright, the dominant car of the day, to go right on by the 23. Here off of 4 and the 48 back to the lead at Bristol.
Now all he has to do is just drive away with it.
And I think he can. He'll be setting off into the sunset here in Bristol, Tennessee, as he's opened up about a 2-3 car length gap over the 23 of Baffert. Banks and Shieldhouse have been battling for the 3rd position behind these two. What will these guys been going up on the outside, going to the inside? Banks trying to take that line away from Shieldhouse. We're going to be running up on lap traffic here pretty soon.
Yeah, it looks like U54 of Yusuf Ghali with his old top mirrors will be the first car.
Baffert to the back to the bottom here of Wright. Not letting him go, that's for sure. And I think how Jeff got the lead there, he kept Baffert guessing where he was going to run. He kind of caught him off guard, and right here, Baffert might be able to do the same thing. He gets to the inside. Oh, Wright couldn't do it.
Big run here.
Baffert gets the lead back down the back stretch. And Banks, and honestly, if you're Banks at Shieldhouse, you're loving what you're seeing watching these two race each other. And into lap traffic, here we go, with Yusuf Ghali in the 54. And Baffert going to hold on to the lead, going to actually put out a little bit of a gap there to the 54, and Baffert did what Wright did to Baffert there, and that last time just caught him off guard, getting on that outside lane. Oh, Wright's going to have a nice run here. There he goes, back down to the inside.
That
Can't
same
do it.
maneuver again.
Oh, man, let's little bit of tire marks down there. And I think Jeff has been pushing the car as hard as he has, I think he has all night.
Oh, for sure. He knows that this is crunch time. If the 23 car can maintain this lead or keep fighting with him, Ben's going to have a shot. Every lap that he keeps Jeff down there and doesn't let him exit the corner the way he wants to.
And Jeff's sliding around. You can tell, oh, this is going to get good with the lap car and Noah Mikulski. Oh, man, look at this. Right to the inside here with the lapper of Mikulski on the bottom. Baffert holds on. Baffert gets the wall. Wright gets the wall. They both hit the outside wall. Wright gonna go back down to the inside. Baffert trying to hold him off. Coming close to 75 laps to go here at the Last Great Colosseum. Weekly in the lapper in the 7th car on the bottom. Gonna stay out of the championship battle lead. And these two get by. Banks and Shieldhouse will follow by once again in 1 and 2. And Baffert opens up about a 2-3 car length gap off of turn number 2. Wright's car's so good on the bottom.
Just he can't get that exit that he wants to, and that's using up those tires because he's been swinging it back out towards the wall in the exit to these corners.
Yeah.
Now, not the case. He doesn't have the room to do that.
You know, I think David Shieldhouse might be the 3rd best car here. He's just kind of boxed in behind Banks, and Banks is doing a good job keeping himself in the fight. And both of these two have yet to win a race this year. Shieldhouse throws it into the corner, slide job on the 35. He gets it.
Up to 3rd now for the 20 car. Sets his sights on the two battling in front of him, about a second ahead. And Baffert has settled down a little bit here with Jeff Wright. Do you think Jeff's going into
back to
conservation
save mode? Yes, he's going back into save mode. If you're Baffert, you got to go into save mode as well.
You got to go into save mode without letting Wright know you're in save mode.
I think that's true, but I think Jeff's been so good. I mean, it's hard to not let him know that you're in save mode.
Well, and there's an art to that, right? You play that defense on the outside. If Jeff gets back to your bumper while you're saving and you use him up a little bit, you can save a little bit more each time that happens.
Yeah.
But
I don't think you can give up the right rear coming off the corner. If you can do that, I think you're going to lose the position. 75 laps to the line, everybody here. There was less than that. We are coming up here close to what's going to be 35 laps to go. So not too much longer to go in this race. To go. Wright's really starting to fall off of Baffert here, man. This race has flown by in only an hour and a half, and we are coming up to the end of this race here. As man, what a wild race this has been. Ben Baffert out of nowhere opens up about a half a second lead over Jeff Wright. Can he hold on for the next 45 laps is the question. If you're Bailey Turner, you're praying for a caution because Baffert is not too far behind. If Bailey Turner was to finish where he finishes, I would say he's going to be close to mathematically eliminated if 18 cars were to show up next week at Fontana. It might just be between Ben Baffert and Jeff Wright for the championship.
Jeff's starting to surge back a little bit here. That last time by, he's about a 10th faster, so he is starting to trim some of that time down. Ben, however, has some lap traffic to contend with. And
these guys aren't going to give up the lap easy either, so.
No. They look like they're not moving over like we saw with Caleb Weekly and Yusuf Ghali. Those guys all go to the bottom. The 5 of Dice up on the high side, kind of taking away Baffert's line.
Yes, he is, and these laps are clicking off quick, so the question is, when does Wright want to start pushing it again? Because it's going to take a while for him. If Baffert keeps doing what he's been doing, where he just kind of hangs on the right rear, where it's going to be hard for Jeff to overtake him. If he can catch Baffert in the right place, maybe lapping Alan Dice here, he can get back around him. Kind of use Dice as a pick here. Wright's going to have a chance.
That gap is definitely
the
closed
middle.
up.
Oh, he's going
Ooh.
to get into Dice. And that holds up, that held up Wright. I think Wright would have had a chance, but now he's back up to Ben Bafford's bumper.
Even them just running into Dice in the first place definitely helped to close that gap. Now they're back to doing a bit of a tango here.
Yep.
This is what Bristol's all about, huh?
Yeah, there's nothing better here than the Last Great Colosseum here in Bristol, Tennessee. 35 laps to go from Bristol. Can Ben Bafford hold off Jeff Wright and extend his championship lead into Fontana, California for the season finale next week? But he's got 34 laps now to hold off the defending champion Jeff Wright and last week's winner.
Or in the wall there, that's Dallas Sullivan in the 46. You've got the 23 of Bafford going to try to clear him, and it's been kind of the same here. They're taking away that outside line. Probably a little bit more comfortable running up there versus the bottom, but that's really let Jeff catch back up to the 23 car every time
it's going to hurt him here. And remember, the leaders normally were the guys, the lap cars will normally race the leader a little bit harder than the guy who's in second is. Oh, Jeff Wright gets into the wall, but Bafford gets into it in turn one. Both going to make mistakes. It's going to be who can limit mistakes. If you're Showdown, if you're Banks, how much have you been saving while those two were racing? Is it go time now? 30 laps to go here from Bristol, and Ben Bafford's going to have to drive a perfect 30 here if he wants to hold off Jeff Wright. And don't look now, but look at who's in fifth and catching all of these guys. The Magic Man, Adam Cabot, still has a chance. He's cut it to a second and a half now.
And he's about a tenth faster every lap that we've been watching. Click away.
He might have a say in this. Leader's getting by Golly once again. Golly now 2 laps down to the lead lap here. And Bafford, oh, Wright gets close, but he's in the wall. Lost the nose in the dirty air of the 23 and gets up to the outside wall. Wright pushing it. You can tell he's trying to find a way around the 23. Does he use him up? Give him the old bump and run.
Got to be careful in this Gen 4 car. It's not built for that.
No, it's not. Could lead it, but oh, Bafford to the outside wall. These guys have used up that right front tire. They're really, really starting to use up all this racetrack and sliding up the track. Right to the inside.
Got a good run there.
If you're Jeff Wright, you can't afford to turn the 23. And he's going to try everything. Bafford's going to have to pinch him down. 25 laps to go at the line this time by from Bristol. Can Jeff Wright find a way around Ben Bafford for the lead and close up the championship gap in points? 5 points. We're separating these two. Wright has almost locked up the most laps led, which will cut it to 4 points. And if he can win, these two will be separated by 2 points into California next week. The lap car of Bailey Turner is coming up. Wright really loose on the bottom.
Yeah, that thing dirt tracking coming out of turn 4. And
he did. Banks and Shieldhouse
run.
Battling behind them for third. If these two were to get together, can one of these guys behind them enter themselves into the fight and make this a 3 or 4 car battle for the win? Right to the bottom once again. Bafford up into the outside wall. Oh, Wright can't hold it down there. Bafford powers up ahead again.
These guys are running out of racetrack here.
Oh, they're going to be running out of cars here pretty soon if these guys get together. What great racing for the Bristol Motor Speedway. This is the racing you love to see.
Jeff almost got, I think he did touch the 23 car
he did.
turn 4 last time.
Just rattled his cage a little.
Yeah, they are close.
Exactly. Rattling that cage a little bit. Will Dredd be able to force Bafford into a mistake? 20 laps to go. Right to the inside.
Ooh.
He uses him up. Contact. Bafford holds on. Wright getting a little more aggressive. Elbows are coming out. He gets into him again off of 2. They're both in the outside wall. They save it, and they get back going. 5 more minutes of this, boys, and this race is over.
Well, you know, safe to say, Ben's cage is definitely rattled right now.
It is, and Baffert caught the wall again.
How long can he hold on to that car before he makes a mistake he can't recover from? They've both made mistakes simultaneously. Jeff kind of follows him up. And here it is again, into 1 and 2.
Right.
He just can't get the exit.
He just can't hold it. He just can't hold it down there. He's up in the wall again. He's really in the wall hard. He uses it to his advantage. Oh, that time he did it. He's up in the outside wall, hard hit. And here comes Banks. Banks is trying to get by Shieldhouse, and these two have caught them quick. Oh, Banks is into the door of Shieldhouse. I think Banks has the best car of all of these guys. I just don't know if he has enough time or enough laps. Oh, there's David in the outside wall again. These two have been side by side.
15, and we've got a 4-car battle for the lead here very soon.
Yeah, we got a 4-car lead battle for the win here. About now, Shieldhouse and Banks battling for third. Wright is back up to the back bumper of Ben Baffert. Right now, sets it to the inside. Slide job move from the 48. He can't do it. Baffert holds on, but Wright's still in the corner panel. Not giving him any room to make a mistake. Baffert holds on once more, coming to 10 laps to go. Very soon, 3 laps away, 13 to go here at the line. Wright loses the back bumper. Shieldhouse and Banks are there. There's lap cars ahead. 4 cars under a blanket here at Bristol for the win. Wright up into the outside wall. He gets a good run. He looks to the inside. Can't do it. McCloskey's down there. It's going to cost him some time. Banks now gets by Shieldhouse. Can Banks win this race?
A little tap
Banks
on the bumper.
To the bottom.
And the 03 just drops down. They're 3 wide into 1 and 2. I saw
Banks
Jeff
got
Wright
him.
have some contact.
Oh.
3 wide again.
Just no room for Jeff to get by right now.
No, and Banks is going to pin him on the outside behind Baffert. Can Joshua Banks steal the win and get his first win of the season? Baffert holding up this group of cars. Banks to the inside of Wright. There's contact right into the wall. Banks in the wall. And championship hopes dashing away. Jeff Wright up in the outside wall again. He's in the wall again. Cabin up to third. Shieldhouse to second. 10 to go. Caleb weakly in the way of Ben Baffert. Does David Shieldhouse have anything for the 23?
I think Baffert has set sail here. I think he's in the best position he's been in since this green flag came back out.
But you got to remember the history between Shieldhouse and Baffert in this series. They've got into it plenty of times. Is Shieldhouse willing to pay it back? Maybe move him for the win. He's catching him quick, and Banks is coming back up again. Is there enough time? 7 laps to go from Bristol. A non-chaser and 2 chasers, and the 2 guys behind the leader have yet to win a race this season. Baffert's in the outside wall. 6 laps to go.
I think it's going to be real tough for Baffert here. He's got to hold off both cars.
He's running these guys down. Oh, Shieldhouse gets the wall. Baffert gets the wall. Banks is up to both of them. There's contact for second. Banks makes contact with Shieldhouse. Here comes Adam Cabot in the 17. 5 to go from Bristol. Can these guys run down Ben Baffert?
He's been under fire from 6 different individuals tonight.
He's done everything he can. Probably the best race he's drove all season.
In the wall.
He gets in the wall. Shieldhouse gets in the wall. If Banks can clear, Banks has a chance at Baffert. They're still side by side for second. Cabot closing in behind. Banks not clear of Shieldhouse. 3 laps to go from Bristol. 30 seconds left in this race. Banks gets by Shieldhouse. Cabot now underneath. Banks with the chance on Baffert. 2 laps to go for Bristol. Baffert taps the wall. Banks to the inside. 2 to go at the line. Dead even. Baffert into the wall again. Banks using him up. Banks gets by. season. He'll see the white flag at the line. That's a side-by-side battle for second. The short track ace, winless all season. Baffert into the outside wall again, but half a lap to go. Joshua Banks out of nowhere steals a win at Bristol. Banks wins, Wright crashes across the line with Baffert. And Joshua Banks, first win of the season.
And I believe Jeff Wright finished ahead of
He got
Baffert
ahead
anyway.
of Baffert. And what a brawl from the Gladiators in the Last Great Colosseum. What a race. And Joshua Banksy boy out of nowhere comes and wins.
What?
What a battle.
I'm still trying to unpack that.
Oh
What a
my goodness.
performance from Schildhaus, too.
last
I mean,
run.
From 17th up to 2nd. And even Cabot, I mean, he qualified 13th.
What a race. Oh my goodness. And back here, Baffert got the wall. I think he hit it too hard. Affected the I think he had either A, a tire going down, or B, he affected the handling of that car. He went from second to fifth across the white flag. Got the wall here. Cabot stole third. And then Jeff Wright still somehow, someway, out of nowhere, gets underneath Ben Baffert after he taps the wall, and you know he pins the throttle down. And they both do, and they both slam into the outside wall. And what a finish. How about that? Wright and Baffert, with 10 laps to go, were first and second. Neither of them finished in the top three. It don't get better than that, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, how about that? Joshua Banks burning it down on the front stretch. If you don't like Bristol, I don't know what to tell you. A classic in the BTDY Racing Series. And Joshua Banks burning it down on the front stretch. His first win since the season opener of last year at Daytona. We'll be right back with post-race interviews from Banks, Schildhaus, and Cabot. Stick around, and we'll be right back to talk to your top three.
There isn't a one-size-fits-all for almost anything in life. So don't settle for a one-size...
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Back here live from the Coliseum. The Gladiators go at it in the top 5. Undecided. It took us the entirety of 20 to go to figure out who was going to win this race. Ultimately, Joshua Banks comes out on top with a hard battle between Jeff Wright and Ben Bafford. The dominant car of the day, trying to pass the guy leading the points. He does it, but it wasn't for the win. David Shieldhouse and Adam Cabot sneak up into the top 3, but complete chaos for those last 10 laps. I can't even sort this out.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than what we saw. I think it's Baffert and Wright. They were the fastest cars all day, or that last run, burned up their stuff racing each other, and just allowed Joshua Banks, David Shieldhouse, and Adam Cabot to kind of come out of nowhere from saving and get by both of them and get the top 3s. And Luke, I mean, I don't know about you, man, but that was an electric last 20 laps.
And really, really intense. I mean, especially when you figure all those guys were a second or more behind Jeff and Ben up there. I mean, to come up that quick and pull out podium finishes for all 3 of them, it's incredible.
It is, and when we send you down for Adam Cabot, let's go through our race results here from the Affinity 4 Gaming 225. 2 cautions, 9 lead changes. Boy, did we have a lot of them in those final last 10 laps. Banks starts on the pole, and he only led 3 laps to come to his first win of the season, marking it, I believe, a record-setting 12 different winners in a single season. David Shieldhouse comes home second. Adam Cabot third. Jeff Wright fourth, barely edging out Ben Baffert for 5th. Ray Massey in 6th. Bailey Turner, last car in lead lap, in 7th. Dallas Sullivan 8th. Alan Dice in 9th. And Angelo Ronis in 10th.
11th position is going to go to Noah Mikhalski. Had an up and down day into the top 5 several times tonight. Then we come back to Caleb Wakely, Cody Atkins, Yusuf Ghali. Unfortunately, that's going to probably do it for his championship hopes as he finishes in 14th. Dennis Faircloth, 15th position. Nick Starling, 16th. Max Koss, 17th. Did not grid this race, I believe. And then Chris Simard I guess Max did come out for 10 laps. And then Chris Simard having a little bit of an early exit over. So completing about half the race for the 63 and the 77. But now we have Luke Buffington down on pit road. He's caught up with Adam Cabot, your 3rd place finisher of the night.
Yeah, so I'm down here with Adam Cabot. Podium finish tonight. What a race tonight. I mean, Adam, you were up and down the field a little bit. Was a podium finish even really a consideration up until those last few laps?
No, I had a minute 40 of unrepaired damage. My car was destroyed from whatever happened earlier in the race. But even before that, it was just we were all very confused in Discord about this race because the car wouldn't turn, then it would turn. I somehow started the race on worn tires. I swear to God, I've never seen this before, but I had worn tires before we even had the first pit stop. So I went back, I guess because of that. I don't know. The car literally wouldn't turn. So just very confusing. And then I figured a few things out as to what to do driving it. And then they all stacked up in front of me. And that's where I got the minute 40 of damage, which my car had no speed on a short run. But when I figured out what to do on the long run, I was still able to just barely reel them in. They were battling so hard at the end there. I thought, man, even with my red car, I might have a shot at it. And yeah, I definitely wasn't thinking P3 at any point in time. Also ran the car out of gas because I couldn't find pit road. I've never pit under green at Bristol, and it's very disorienting. So ran the car out of gas, which somehow didn't hurt me as much as I thought. Everyone got trapped a lap down. It was just a lot of craziness and a hell of a battle at the end.
Yeah, what a race. And I mean, to Ben Baffert and beyond, am I right?
Oh, absolutely.
So with the chase standings being the way they are, I mean, I'm not an expert with the points, but I mean, I believe you may be up to 3rd now with Yusuf's performance tonight. Is there any particular strategy you have going into Fontana?
I think my strategy is just to beg Nick to add 6 or 7 more races to the schedule, because if I keep gaining on Ben by 2 points like I did tonight, I think I'll be up there in 7 races. But no, my championship's already over in my book. I mean, I guess mathematically I'm still in it. I mean, if people show up next week. But I mean, in my mind, I got eliminated at Martinsville and then double eliminated last week at Nashville. So Yeah, a lot of bad luck this chase, unfortunately. The 17 team though, we have won the Winston Cup. We locked up the Winston Cup point standings like 3 or 4 weeks ago, so that's on lock. Not that anyone cares except for me, but yeah, just going out there and trying to get some wins. Yeah, I mean, Auto Club is just raced there in Deminar a couple weeks ago, and we had to save fuel literally the entire like 150 laps because of whatever they set up with tires and distance, and it was a bit of a mess. But looking forward to actually being able to drive that track and attack and run high, low, middle. It's gonna be a good time.
Is there anybody you want to thank or shout out for the finish tonight?
Yeah, I gotta shout out Ben Bafford Beyond for hopping on board tonight. I got a personal tour of the Beyond section last week at pit exit at Nashville, and it's something, let me tell you.
Yeah, what a great store. Now, I believe,
Appreciate you, Adam.
yeah,
This third place finisher of the night, Adam Cabot. Thank you for your time, buddy. Always great to hear what you have to say post race. But as we try to collect ourselves here, we've got second place finisher down on pit road with Alec Martinez. It's David Shieldhouse in second position tonight.
Yeah, let's see if I can get him over here. David Shithouse, Alec Martinez, Luke Buffington, and Bradley Cooper in the VC booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Hey man, how we doing?
Hey man, I feel like it's been a while. It might have been too long since we've been talking to you, but man, those last few laps were absolutely just electric to watch, and you were just a part of it. But I got to ask, did you maybe have anything when you got caught behind the 23 and you're battling there with Banks? If you had another way to get to the lead?
I don't think I had anything for Banks. He was just better. He could roll the center better. He could get off the corners better. He was faster. He was really good. It took everything I had to just try and keep him at bay when I was ripping the wall. So he was truly the best of the bunch there at the end. But I mean, that was just. Have you ever seen a brawl like that with that many cars at Bristol and nobody wrecked? Like,
amazing.
That is BTDY in a nutshell right there. That's why I love racing in this league, because you can get stuff like that from time to time. I can only imagine, Alec, the octaves that you were reaching while we were doing all that. I will go back and watch, and I hope that my ears are bleeding after I'm done watching.
They may be, because that was an electric finish watching all of you guys brawl. And I think I probably lost a little bit of my voice because that was a wild last like 5 minutes of the race. But man, you guys put on a show. I don't know. I know the Coke season starting next week, and I know you've been spotting there for Steven. Will we be blessed with your presence at the Auto Club Speedway next week, or was this the last race of the season?
This will be it for me for this season. I'm not even spotting anymore since now I'm running.
Gosh.
I'm running the Spire Motorsports team, so I can't spot for Steven. So I'll be tuning in to cheering Casey Kerwin and Malik Ray on Tuesday night at Daytona. So
nice.
This will be it for me in BTDY, at least for this season. But whenever the next thing rolls back, I will try to get over here as much as I can, just because I love this group. This season was a little weird from a performance perspective for me. Like I said, you didn't talk to me a whole lot, and that means I didn't have a very good year. So no wins, not a lot of really good finishes, a lot of bad finishes, but I still had a good time. And, to go out with a second, almost a win here at Bristol and put on that kind of a show, man, it's pretty awesome.
Yes, it was. Well, we appreciate your time, brother. Hopefully we'll be seeing you out. I know Spire sounds pretty good, up on the up and up on all sides of NASCAR, so that's good to hear. And hopefully we'll see you at a couple racetracks this year, brother. Is there anybody you want to thank for this finisher tonight?
Well, first and foremost, a big thank you to Nick Starling and everybody at BTDY who puts the league on, puts the time in to run all this with all of our crazy asses who come out here and try and make it as bad as possible. It feels like some weeks, but so shout out to them. It's hard to run an iRacing league and administer it, so I appreciate the time and effort they put in. A big shout out to you guys, VSPEED, and for broadcasting these races, covering it, volunteering, giving your time to make it fun for us and bring this to life. Big thank you to Cosmin over at Splash Go Graphics for this paint scheme. I forgot to change it from last week's core throwback race, so you got to see my throwback scheme. So that was not intentional, but it's a good looking car. Finished second
it's good
tonight.
Kenseth. Yeah, good Kenseth throwback from 04.
I love me a good Kenseth throwback scheme. And a big thank you to everybody at twitch.tv/Shieldhouse, of course, the children. they loved what they saw here tonight. They were into it. We had people reporting heart rates of 110 in chat. So the excitement was there. The energy was there. It's a good way to finish off the year, and can't wait to come back and see you guys again when my schedule allows for it.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate your time, David. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, man. Good luck for the NASCAR season and the NASCAR season, and look forward to seeing you back next season and next year.
Thank you, boys. You be good. We'll see you soon.
All right, we'll appreciate you, David. Have a good one. That's David Schoenhaus, the second place finisher, and I believe
Yeah,
Bradley
I mean,
Cooper's in the second level.
Before I do that, I just have to say the report on the heart rates. I feel like I paid $10 a beer. I felt like I was at Bristol again. I really
Yeah,
do.
that was awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that was an incredible finish. So, good to have David back up here in the booth. And I know it's been a while, but kind words, and we appreciate David's time, and good luck there in the venture with the new team. But yeah, we're down on victory lane now with the 35 car. Joshua Banks, you created a new record here tonight. Josh, do you know what it is?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Well, here at BTDY, the old record was 11 different drivers. You made it 12 this season. Wins in a single season.
Son of a gun.
So there it is. 35 car. You did it in the chase when you needed it most. I know you've had a rough start here to the chase, and you've been outside the top 5. But here tonight, this should help tremendously and get you back on track and maybe carry some momentum into Auto Club.
I hope. I mean, I'm not ruled completely out the championship, but I feel a little too far out to be close. But this definitely is a motivational race, so to speak. Being able to come out here and not do any good, felt like, top 3 car, 3rd, 4th place, maybe 5th place. Figure something out and got to the lead on the final few laps is huge. Honestly, I can't believe it, buddy. This is huge.
We can't believe it either. We sit back and watch. Let's review back 20 laps to go. You have Ben Baffert and Jeff Wright. Those two tagging the wall, beating on each other, running the inside wall or inside to the outside wall. And then you and Shieldhouse going at it quietly in the background, side by side for a few laps, back and forth, creeping slowly closer to those two. Did you think for a second with 20 to go that you guys would have a chance?
No, not really. I just thought I finally had some pace and figuring out the line to run to make passes, and got to David. And I was like, okay, might be able to get 3rd out of this. That'd be pretty cool. Because last time Ben and Jeff raced up here in the front earlier in the run, they were pulling away. So I was like, okay, they'll probably just pull away or do something crazy. But sure enough, David and I were racing side by side and around our bumpers and having to fight for the win. So I didn't believe it, to be honest. And then it just all came to fruition. It was amazing. Just good, hard, short track racing. And this is the peak of it at Bristol Motor Speedway. It was so much fun.
Yeah, we had a variety of everything tonight. We had our typical cautions that Bristol can breed, and then we had green flag pit stops, which are rare at this racetrack, especially with, 15 plus cars. Then you have the situation where that late yellow groups the field back up. Everybody gets back on the lead lap. And like you said, with 20 to go, you were kind of like, well, we're signed off and these guys have pulled away. They get to battle and you guys creep back up. You have Cabot behind you who has heavy damage. He ends up with a podium. And then mistakes were made and you capitalized on it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You could tell that Ben and Jeff had raced really hard and burned their right fronts up enough to, allow us to catch up for one in that last run. And me running my line, my tires are feeling pretty good. Luckily, I don't know how we did this, but after getting tangled up with Jeff, don't ask me how we were able to make a run back at David and Ben. That I thought the race was over for us at that point. Getting tagged up, sliding down the whole front straightaway, that blew me away that we were able to get pace and catch back up to the front leader. So that I don't get, but I'm glad the car stuck through. The tires were still there, and obviously got around them because of their just being able to do it, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, having the tires after that spin to the outside wall, that in itself, but you were actually quoted as being a little bit better. Shieldhouse said you rolled the bottom a little bit better than anybody else he saw, and late in this run, after the 23 cars all but used up, you just found that bottom line and rotated off, and with 2 to go, you found yourself in the lead.
Yeah, it was kind of a blessing because Ben tapped the wall coming out of 2, and that was the ending, because I knew once I got clear to Ben, it was all over, because I could run that top better than he could and maintain the pace and pull away even, and that's what we did. So it just made that sigh of relief to get around him. And I'm sitting here freaking out with my spotter Justin, just like, "Oh, you can't touch me! I'm freaking leading."
I saw we're looking at it right now here. You had some contact with Shieldhouse as well, so there was another instance where you almost could have been turned into the wall coming out of turn 4.
Right. Oh yeah, he was running a line that I went way down to the bottom. He was trying to get a good straight exit off of 4, and we just kind of tied up a little bit. But thankfully, I didn't go 2 for 2 and getting spun out there. That one was a blessing as well, not keeping it straight, still having a chance.
Well, Josh, the first win comes late in this season, but it breaks the ice for what was probably one of the longest streaks I think you've had winless, and we were starting to wonder if you were going to get it done, because you've had every season we've watched you here at BTDY, you've had a win. But do you have anybody that you would like to shout out, for this victory tonight?
I mean, first off, my spotter Justin doing an awesome job up there on the box, doing a great job with the call outs, with the pit strategies. Definitely helped me learn how to, strategize and, what to do with the car. Learning, okay, back off and you wait patiently, being patient with the car and racing and everything, and when to be aggressive. So shout out to him for being just a great spotter in general and everything. Thank you guys for up in the booth. I'm obviously looking forward to this one. I say it every time I'm in the booth with you guys. I'm excited to watch y'all's reaction. It's going to be so much fun to see. But shout out to you guys for putting on an awesome broadcast, and our league admins doing a great job with the league. It's been a tough season, but thankfully we've come out strong with a win finally. I was a little worried we weren't going to have one this season, but thankfully we came out with one in fashion. It's always cool to have. And shout out to my Twitch channel, Banksy the iRacer. Come check it out. You can watch this race on my perspective live, or at least past broadcast, and see how it went, because it was chaotic behind the wheel, I will say.
I want to get a POV of that. I'm sure I'll be over there and we'll check that out. But yeah, it from up here, and I told Alec about this there, I felt like I paid $10 a beer tonight, because I felt like I was back at Bristol. It was incredible to watch you guys. That's what we do, or that's why we do what we do, is to see finishes like that with no idea who's going to actually get the win with 5 to go. And it was cars that, for the whole night hadn't even been at the lead really, finding their way into the hunt. That's why we do it.
Yes, sir. That's what makes racing fun, especially near the end of them, is the unknown of who's going to win, because you got so many potential drivers to pull out a win. And so it's really fun to watch, and I'm hopeful and glad that we got to put on a show for everybody watching tonight on y'all's broadcast. And it was definitely fun racing. It was nerve-wracking, but it was definitely fun to wheel this thing around this track and battle it out.
We appreciate your time. Joshua Banks victorious, the 12th winner here in BTDY and the Chase. And overall, another great race for BTDY, as it's been known as. Thank you for your time, Joshua Banks, and we'll see you next week at Auto Club for the final event.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you, bud.
Appreciate you, Josh. Congrats.
Thank you, sir.
So a lot to unpack here tonight
from
the fastest half-mile oval in Bristol, Tennessee. Your final thoughts, Luke, Alec? I know that this was the best show I think we've seen, and I say I say that lightly, because we've seen a lot of great ones.
That was one of the best battles I think I've ever been able to have the the blessing of being able to call. Man, that was absolutely electric. Awesome racing. It doesn't get any better. And next week we are going to see some awesome racing again from the Sunshine, or it's not the Sunshine State, but the Golden State, if you so will, in
Golden
California.
State, yeah.
Yeah, we got the Fontana, California. That track, always so awesome. Always going to put on an amazing show. We're going to see guys bottom to top on the wall, all the way on the inside. I mean, 5 lanes wide. I mean, it's just, honestly, will it be able to top this? I don't know, but it could, and I'm looking forward to that. We got a heck of a championship battle. 3 points separating the top 2 for the championship. First timer and the defending champion. I highly recommend you guys tune in.
You can catch that live at 8:35 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday night. We'll go to Fontana, California for the final race in the BTDY Chase for the Cup. That's going to conclude our race here tonight for the Affinity for Gaming 225. Again, thank you to our commentary from Alec Martinez and Luke Buffington. Appreciate you guys very much. And would also like to thank VSPEED and Adam Baker, our other 2 producers, Eddie Smith and Morgan Cook, for what they do. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you'll never miss a single race. But until we see you next time here at BTDY Cup, take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you next time.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
Gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
Oh,